formidable opponent.
Utmost.
Keep your attacks focused. Leveling fire. Inferno Blade.
The One Piece is real!
Okay, so before I get into the showcase, I will briefly explain all of the character setups and classes. I won't go into too much depth because I really don't want this to take like 5 billion years. But if you want any like kind of more in-depth detailed description of why these builds work, a lot of my builds are ripped from Inel's guides. So if you haven't already, check out his channels. He's a great guide maker for various RPG games, mostly the Sena series. And he's also an amazing speedrunner. He's got like the world record for Xenoblade 2 and a lot of world records for Xenoblade 2's challenge mode. And he's already working on speedruns for Xenoblade 3. So if any of that interests you, go check him out. First link in the description. So first up is Noah. Noah be a Seraph class. I chose Seraph class for this for his build. So he can get the Awakening buff by damaging himself with the Seraph art. Because one of Seraph's skills gives you the Awakening buff by taking damage, and by literally using your own skills, you can damage yourself below the threshold that's needed, gain the Awakening buff, and start into your Unlimited Blade with a massive damage bonus. Next up is Mio. She has to be a Signifer in order for all of this to work. There is no other class that's acceptable on Mio other than Signifer. Absolutely no way. It's way too busted. She's also using Glittering Melody, which is a talent art from Troubadour, and I will explain why in just a bit. First of all, I need to tell you about the invincibility Gs. Basically, when Noah uses his Unlimited Blade, he gains a brief amount of invincibility as a buff. And by using the interlink with Mio, he can share all of his buffs with Mio. Meaning he can share the Awakening buff from his Seraph class and invincibility from Unlimited Blade with Mio. Then you can immediately cancel the interlink and then use Mio's Signifer class to share invincibility and Awakening with the entire party, and then use Glittering Melody to extend the buff durations of those two effects. Immediately make your entire party invincible and grant them a massive damage boost, which mainly to Noah and Taion because they will be the only real damage dealers, but still, it's pretty insane. So next up is Eunie. Eunie will be a Troubadour. Obviously, she also needs I can't speak. She also has Glittering Melody and further extends your buff durations. And the Troubadour class also has a Arts Recharge speed field, which makes you able to have faster final lucky 7s, and also increases the amount of Glittering Melodies and other buff arts that you will get, so you will just be swimming in buffs and have absolutely no problem with dispense versing your enemies. Next up is Taion. He will be a DPS focused soul hacker. He will be your secondary DPS. The main reason I made him a DPS soul hacker, other than like a Troubadour or buffing soul hacker, is because one, I needed another attacker class for good chain attacks, because if you only run Noah and melee as attackers, you will do one round, then swim in only healers, and healers can't finish a round, so you're fucked. So Soul Hacker Taion it is. He's really strong, great Aether attacks, and Melia's Genetic Order also decreases Aether defense, so he's really good. He also has high tactical points, which further increases your chances of getting a 200% tactical point gauge in the first round. And yeah, Soul Hacker is just a really strong class other than that. Next up is Lanz. He will also be a Soul Hacker, but a support-focused one. He will just spam Desperate Charge, Battle, Pheromone, and Dragon Decree all the time off cooldown, which grants your party buffs like critical rate up, critical damage up, attack up, cleanse debuffs, and also faster arts recharge or something like that. I'm not quite sure on all of these, but especially the critical buffs and power charge are really strong, so having a Soul Hacker that's dedicated to granting these buffs to a party as often as possible, plus 2 Signifer classes, is really insane. Next up is Sena. She will also be a Signifer class, thus further enhancing the amount or increasing the amount of buffs that are active on your party at all times. And also he uses Cry of Faith, the normal talent art for Signifers, to grant you even more buffs, essentially. Lastly, there's Melia. I used Melia over, what was the name, Miyabi, because I don't really need any more buff durations or recharge fields. I already have enough of those, and I think Melia is overall more beneficial to the party, because one of her talents, or one of her skills, increases the entire party's damage by a certain percentage. I forgot exactly how it worked, but it's essentially just a really nice buff skill for the entire party that's active at all times. And she also, as a side, she's also really good for chain attacks. Not quite as good as someone like Ashera, but she's still really good. And she works better with the team as a support, like a mixture of support and DPS, so she's really nice. And you also have absolute banging background music, which is really important to feel as cool as possible while pulling off these moves. So yeah, that's basically the setup I run. If you want any more in-depth kind of things, as I said, check out Inez Guides, really great guy. And with all that said, now into the showcase.
Focus, leveling fire! How did I? Let's have it!